Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Centonomy Abundant Living. My name is Sheba Njagi. Managing your expectations and those of others before they become the boss of you. Why am I saying this? A couple of years ago, it was my boyfriend's birthday, and I was really excited because the gift I would get him, I was 100% sure he would love it. He would be so happy. And what I bought was actually something I would like. It was a really nice, cute birthday card, and I had written a really nice message in there, and my expectations were he'd be like, "Oh, how beautiful. Thank you. You're the most caring person ever in the world." Those were my expectations. Fast forward to his birthday, and I give him the gift, and he's like, what is this? Okay, he didn't say what is this, but I could see on his face it wasn't the ideal gift. You see, I was sad immediately. Can't he see that I care? Can't he see that I actually got something amazing for him? It is literally, actually handwritten with my own beautiful handwriting, and can't he see that? You see, I was pissed off because he's not happy for the gift I had bought. I had high expectations of him to like something that he had necessarily no control over. How are you managing your expectations of yourself and even of others? Some of us are finding ourselves in trouble in our businesses, at work. You're having high expectations. Let's say in case of a business, you've been speaking with a client for a long time, and you expect, because they love you, because they've said positive things about you, that it is obvious they're going to give you the job. Then immediately you don't get the contract and you're depressed. You're here on Instagram telling us how tired you are. It's because you had too high expectations of your clients. If you're at work, you have too high expectations of people, your team members. You're expecting that they either appreciate you, or they will send you the report on time, or they will sort you out exactly at the time you want them. And then they fail, and you start complaining that you do not have good colleagues. Manage people's expectations of you and even your own expectations of others. Why I say this is because, number one, expectations are not goals. Let us not confuse expectations with goals. As soon as I tell someone, it's okay, I'm going to make sure I'm going to deliver this to you in the next 1 hour, honestly. If I know I can't make that 1 hour, or I have so much to do, I don't need to overpromise. Manage expectations with your colleagues, with your friends, with your family, so that you don't find yourself in weird situations. I used to find myself in situations where I'd tell my friends, "I'm coming to see you. I'm coming over. Hii wiki nakuja." And then things come up, and maybe I hadn't thought about it well, and then I disappoint them. And they're sad because I didn't manage my own expectations, and also they would get sad because they had too high expectations of me. And I have been thinking about this so critically, because some people are not happy. I'm not happy sometimes because I'm expecting too much of others. So as I was thinking about this topic and this thought, it came to mind. So how can I do it better? How can I make sure that I am managing my expectations and even those of others? Number one is to realize that expectations are not the same as goals. Number two, communicate. Don't assume that I get you. Don't assume that someone, because they know their role, they'll do it exactly. If you want something done, tell them, and tell them clearly. If you know you will not make it in the next 1 hour, don't say, "I'll try." Tell them, honestly, I know we said 1 hour, but it won't work. I know in 2 or 3 hours I'll be done. Manage those expectations. And I'm not being pessimistic, but also think about the worst case scenarios. Think about them in advance. What could happen if ABC doesn't work? Anticipate some of these worst case scenarios so that you're not caught off guard. And also understand people. If I understand my friends, my family, that they are sensitive about a certain topic, that they like being called at a certain time, or they like being appreciated in a certain way, then let me understand that, and I have to make sure I let them know. Same thing to business. Understand how your clients work. At work, understand how your colleagues work, how they think, how they perceive things, so that you're able to manage your own expectations and even their own expectations of you. And finally, like this was my favorite as I was thinking about it. Your expectations or my expectations are nothing but guesses and hopes. Yeah, and it's like we're trying to draw them or sculpt them. It's like we are just hoping that things are gonna go the way we want. But then we put it or we make it so strong on someone else or have a very high expectation of someone, and it ends up being disappointing. So manage yourself, manage others by communicating clearly, by understanding that expectations are not goals. And so you're able to plan yourself well, anticipate worst case scenarios, and also understand people, know their biases, know their perceptions, so that you're able to work with them. As I keep applying this, in fact, when I learned this and as I've been thinking about it, I've realized I need to do it myself, and I think you can do it too. Let me know some of the things you've been doing in your life to manage your expectations and even people's expectations of you. See you again next week. Thank you for joining us.